I think I do the most beautiful job in the entire universe. I'm an actress and a writer and a director, but I also think it's nice to be able to do it without the pressure of being a profession.
Hello, Elise.
Hello.
It's so lovely to talk to you. We haven't seen each other for such a long time since I came to take your picture.
Yeah.
And your lovely cat. I remember the the cat was in the picture as well.
Absolutely.
Is the cat doing well?
The cat is doing very well. Thank you very
Okay.
much. He's sleeping right now.
That is a lockdown. It was a lockdown idea, wasn't it, to buy the cat? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. We had a cat before, and we then the old cat died, and we needed to wait a little bit because we were very sad.
Yeah.
And slowly we thought, why not? And the first lockdown arrived, and we said, so it's a good moment to take a new animal.
Yeah, because then you have a little bit of time to spend with the animal as well. Yeah.
Exactly. And for the first year, we were almost always at home. So I think it was perfect.
Yeah. I think many people in the time got animals. I hear from many people that bought a dog or a cat or so. And I think it was that nurturing idea and also that there was time for animals, you know. So it was also a positive thing, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But Elise, we were talking that day when I came to take your photograph as well. And I know you've got a theater in Vienna, a French theater. And I'm not going to try to pronounce it because my French pronunciation is terrible. But can you just say the name of your theater?
Yes, of course. So it's Les Médusés du radeau, and it's a French theater ensemble. And we exist since 9 years now already.
Yeah. And what was the idea of the theater? Because you are originally from France?
From Switzerland, from the French part of Switzerland.
Oh, okay. And what was the idea of this theater in Vienna, the French theater?
When I wanted to offer theater in French, but the main point or idea or concept was to propose a theater school, because in the end, Les Médusés du Radeau is most of all a theater school for French-talking people who want to do theater but are not professional.
Okay.
It's only amateur theater, because I think everybody has a right to do theater as a hobby, and it's not so easy to find good quality amateur theater. And I think I do the most beautiful job in the entire universe. I'm an actress and a writer and a director, but I also think it's nice to be able to do it without the pressure of being a profession.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah. So
and to do it in the language that you are comfortable in speaking, you know, if you in French.
Yeah, because I also discovered when I arrived in Vienna that there is a big French-talking community, French people and Canadian and Swiss and everything in Belgium. And I thought maybe there is an audience for this school and for this project. And I knew there is also a French actress doing the same in New York since 10 or 12 years. And I remember I saw an article and she said, it's theater school in New York for non-professional people who want to do theater in French. And I said, wow, that's a very good idea. And I tried, and it worked, and it's working since 9 years now. So it's great.
That's wonderful. So now your students, are they, you say it's not professional actors, but
Mm-hmm.
do you also have professional actors who come on board, or how do you do your workshops, for example?
No, so it's really we are two professionals teaching, and but every every actors is non-professional. Every actors on stage since 9 years is a non-professional actors, and for me it is a challenge to also to what does it mean to be professional or not? Is it only a question of talent, or is it a question of when are you professional? If you did a school, but for example, it depends also the countries, because I know in Austria you really need to do a national theater school and you have a diploma, and it's very important. But for example, in France, it's absolutely not a discussion. You can do a private school, you can do the national school, and you can do nothing. And you can still go to every casting and you can still try to do it. And to have an academic diploma doesn't prove anything if you're good or not. So for me, it was a real question. What is a professional actor? And if it's to win money, the majority of actors are non-professional actors, because it's complicated to win money on a regular basis with your job. And talent can be hidden in many different people. You have amazing actors working in an office, and they just don't know they are great actors.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there. And I actually spoke to an actor in Canada who said the same thing, that he was actually trained as he studied architecture, but then he wanted to do acting, and he learned by doing. He learned by going and acting actually, and he's never been to an acting school. And we had the same conversation about how efficient are you, or how, like you say, what do you call, do you only have it on paper, then you can say you're a professional, but it's in the skill, and it's in the heart of what you are doing. Yeah,
Exactly.
so the productions, so you have now a set, you have a group of people now who regularly perform.
Mm-hmm. So we meet. So the program goes every year from the end of September to the end of June, like a school, and we meet twice a week in the evening, and we rehearse and we create together one production per year. It's and sometimes we also shoot short films on the side, or we do sometimes exceptional events with audience. But the main point is to practice theater and to rehearse from October to June, and to propose one big production. And we started in the end of September now, a few weeks ago. And for this year, I have 26 actors.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's quite a lot. And what is the production you're putting up?
So we are putting together something around the topic of love.
Oh,
And
wonderful.
but in a large way, also romantic or family or friends, or because we thought, it is the most universal topic ever.
Yeah.
And we tell stories about love since centuries, and we wanted to do our own. And it's going to be a kind of a musical with singing and dancing, and yeah, so we started a few weeks ago, and we will be ready in June next year.
That's wonderful. And where will this be performed?
So I think it's going to be in the theater called Studio Molière. It is in the 9th district, and it is historical French theater from Vienna. And it is just near from the Lycée Français, so the French gymnasium from Vienna. And it's a very beautiful theater. It's something like 250 seats. And what is very interesting for us, that it's the stage is huge. It's 10 meters on 10 meters. And for us, it's great because we are so many people right now. Yeah, and the last two production we already played there, and it was great because in 2020, during the COVID, we were able to have one production in September. We made it, and we were 19 actors. And this year we played in June, and we were 22 actors on stage.
Okay.
So we need a big stage.
Yeah. And now, how do you get support? Do you have sponsors for this for the concerts, or how do you get your funding?
So most of the funding, it's on the amount of seats we sell.
Yeah.
And for example, this year for the last June production, we had nothing else. And we have one or two private person doing a little bit of sponsoring, but it's a lot of help, of course, but it's not thousands of euro or something. But for example, 2 years ago and 3 years ago, we received help from France because it's French-speaking theater in a foreign country, so we were able to ask some help. But it didn't work for the last production, for example. And we asked again now. We sent all the papers for Förderung last week, and we will see. But yeah, we know how to do it without any help, and we have a very tight budget and everything, and we know we can do every production with what we have.
Yeah.
Because we still have a little bit of budget from the last production, and we build a new production on that and the amount of seats we are going to sell. So it's really small, but it works.
Yeah. And actually in Europe, French is spoken by quite a lot of there's quite a lot of French over crossing borders in Europe, and it's a language that is quite understood by many people. And is this something that you think is also would be great if your productions would be seen by more people, so that, say, for example, this could be also in educational way, for children learning French in a school, for example, to be able to attend things like that? Yeah,
so since now 5 years, we play with subtitles, like in the opera.
Ah, okay.
So we always play with German subtitles. So we already opened the doors of the Viennese audience.
Yeah.
And because it was not for me, it was not possible to do theater in French just for French people.
Yeah.
I want to propose theater in French for everybody, if possible.
Yes.
So the first few years, it was too complicated to organize everything. But since 5 years now, we always propose German subtitles. So I think maybe now 20 or 30% of the audience speaks German, and we are very happy.
Yes. Oh, that's a
Yes,
brilliant idea. Yeah.
yes. So it's really, really great, and yeah, because it's a lot of people love French, the French language, and they are happy to see something in French for one evening.
Yeah.
And but it's important for, at least for us, that they can follow all the story
Yeah.
in German. And for schools, it's not really in our plan, because we what we create, the play we create every year, the production, is really not always for kids.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, so it's also
Yeah.
the question. Sometimes the play, like 2 years ago, we did a Shakespeare, so it was, of course, it was open to everybody up
Yeah.
to, I don't know, 8 years old, because the text is a little bit complicated. But sometimes we have a little bit. We decide it's not under 12, or it's never more like 12 or like that. But yeah, because we don't do something hardcore or very strange,
Yeah.
but sometimes it's not directly for
Yeah.
kids or teenagers. So we prefer to to do theater for everybody as much as we can.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we don't have the project to do anything pedagogic or something like that.
Okay. And now you said that you did Shakespeare, for example. So do you, who writes these? Do you write the plays that you do? Or do you use already
So
written?
yeah, so it depends the year. I sometimes we use very known and famous plays already written by very famous writers, and sometimes I write for everybody. It depends. It depends what we decide together. It depends also the amount of time I have, because to write for 20, 22, 26 characters, it's a huge work, and I love to do it, and I did it many years, but it's not always possible. And I think it's also important for the actors to have the opportunity to play with great writers, and not just what I write for them. It's important to have a balance between everything. And yeah, for example, 2 years ago we did Shakespeare, and last June, it was something we wrote all together.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's
I wrote alone the dialogues, because it's too complicated to write dialogues with 22 other writers. But all the structure and the storytelling and everything we created together.
mm, that's very interesting. Yeah. So so it's input from everybody. So such a so I think it's great when artistic people get together and do for something like that. Now, for example, the props and the costumes and things that these are all things that people themselves have to fund.
So we have quite a big fundus right now, already
Yeah.
since 9 years, and it depends. It depends also the place, the topic. I try we try to do with what we have, and between what we have already in the fundus, what everybody has in his own closet,
Yeah.
dressing, and everything. And if we need to buy, it is the actors never don't have to buy it. We buy it for them, of course.
Okay. Mm.
And for example, we were very lucky, because for the Shakespeare, there was a huge Flohmarkt from the Volksoper.
Yeah.
6 months before, and we went and we found, I don't know, 90% of what we needed there.
Really?
It was amazing.
Amazing. Yeah.
And so we need to be organized, but usually we find everything we need.
Yeah. But Elise, what is your wish for this theater?
Um, uh, that's a very good question. I would love to have a little bit more of Förderung and subvention and help, because I could propose better working condition for everybody, and most of everything for the people coming from the outside, doing all the light creator for the play, or the sound creator, and all the people coming from outside are of course paid, but not as much as I would like for the talent they have. And I am very lucky, and we are very lucky, that few people since years are following us and working, coming back every year for the French theater project. But yeah, if I could have a little bit more money, I would love to propose better, salary, quality of work for everybody. And next year, so the next creation in June 2022 is going to be the 9th creation. So in 1 year and a half, it's the 10 years.
Yeah.
And I would like to be able to celebrate the 10 years of this theater school. And I hope it will continue for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
Because I think I see really, it's really interesting, because all my actors are people working in office and 5 days a week, and for me it's amazing that they work from 9 in the morning to 5 or 6, and after a day of work they come to rehearse one full evening, because they are so happy to be there and enthusiastic. And but for me it's crazy to have the energy to do it when you still have a full-time job. And it's even more crazy to be able to play 1 week in a theater while working full-time job during the day. So when we play in theater, they go in the work in the morning, they do their job, they jump in the subway, and they come and they play in the theater. And for me, it's amazing.
Yeah. Now that's then, I mean, that they do it for the love of it. I mean, you can then clearly see that it's really their passion to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm thinking now just that how much more it would be wonderful if you could have a broader audience. And like you say, you've got the subtitles there, and it's theater, and a lot of things in theater, I think, can be just also sensed, and it doesn't all have to be understood. The words don't always have to be understood, because theater itself is very that it sort of tells the story in that way, in a visual way as well.
Yeah, of course.
So I wish for you really that all your wishes come true, because I think you're doing great work and amazing. And I'm so glad that I could get to know you that day when I took your picture, because I didn't even know of the existence of this theater, and I think it's wonderful. For me, I mean, I'm Afrikaans, and I know how easy it is for me in my language. You can so express yourself so much better in many ways, and I can just imagine how wonderful it could be if you can do some form of art in your language, so I think this is a great thing that you are doing and providing.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So but Elise, it was so wonderful to talk to you, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I follow you on Facebook, and I'll be watching, what you are doing and so on. So, and it would be great to see that production, seeing that I'm in love with love. I love anything to do with love.
Great. Also, we are. I can't wait to see you in June in theater, and it will like that you can discover what we do and.
I would love to come. Yeah, that would be so great. But have a lovely afternoon, and
Thank you. So do you.
and keep in touch.
Thank you very much, and thank you
Okay.
again for the interview and the interest in my work. It's really sweet.
That's a pleasure. That's so lovely to hear about everything.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.